Hey guys, AscendantGod here with Raid Shadow Legends. Today going to be going over Faction Wars Stage 21 of Undead. This is the first Stage 21 that I've downed. Today I'm going to touch on how I did it, with who, show you how it works, show you my composition, a few other tidbits of information that'll hopefully help you get to Stage 21 yourself, either on this faction or with other factions. So now, yes, this is my first stage 21 that I have downed. I have done a few other stage 20s where I'm up to 21. This is the first one where I was able to handle stage 21. I don't know, maybe since the last patch there might be others I can handle now too. I don't know. I really haven't been paying a whole lot of attention to this game since the new patch. So I kind of failed to remember until today that I'm like, oh yeah, I should try some new stages on some of the factions because I know they reduced the difficulty in some of them according to the patch notes. And so I tried this one out. Undead is the first one that I've actually down stage 21 on. So how did I do it? Let's take a look at the composition I have for it. First here is Nethril. Nethril is my crowd control and damage dealer. He's amazing with crowd control because he can knock down turn meters here. He places slows on enemies, stuns. He's great for bosses also because he loads up enemies with poisons on his A1. He's just an amazing champion overall. He's just, especially where these poisons are, the 5% poisons, so they do much higher amounts of hit point damages than on the lower stages when you get up to end game content. He's an amazing champion overall, huge asset to my composition. Next, we got Harvest Jack. This is another huge asset to this group. The great thing about Harvest Jack is that because he is a hit point based champion, which means his damage scales off hit points, he has a lot of hit points here, as you can see, and he's hard to kill, yet he still hits modestly hard. He doesn't scale nearly as well as most attack based champions, as most hit point ones don't, but what he lacks in damage he makes up for in survivability, and his kit is amazing. He has this, passive here where it's when he's attacked, it decreases the duration of buffs on the attackers. He has his A3 with the True Fear, decreased speed, turn meter reductions. He can place block buffs on champions. He can remove increase attack, continuous heals, put decrease attack and poison on them. And on his A1, he can even steal buffs and put fear out there. Overall, he is just an absolutely amazing champion, amazing kit. Absolutely love this guy. I was not that big of a fan of him when he first came out, but they made some changes to him not too long after they released him back in last October, and he's gotten a lot better. Next in line, Bad Alcazar, or as some people call him, Beck. B-E-K, Beck. And so at first glance, some people look at Beck and look at his kit and go, he doesn't seem that spectacular. However, Beck here pairs great with my Nethril, since Beck's passive increases all damage by all my allies to enemies under poison debuffs. Note this one is not just for Bad Alcazar for the poisons. This is for all your allies. They inflict 15% more damage to targets under poison debuffs. So this can be huge in the long run. It really adds up in these longer battles like the stage 21s. All right, and especially again with somebody like Nethril that also has poisons, because Beck has his own poisons here. He throws some poisons out there, but with the combination of him and Nethril, I always have poisons up on all the enemies all over the place. So that constant 15% increased damage that's applied to all my allies. Now, Beck's A1 isn't that great. I mean, it heals all the allies by 20% of the damage inflicted. Since it's attack-based, and you're most likely going to be using him on Clan Boss as well, you're not going to be having him do a ton of damage. You're not going to have a ton of attack on him. Where he really shines is his passive here and his A2. Now, his A2 removes all debuffs from all allies, which comes in real handy at times. Plus, it gives all allies continuous heals and places poisons on all enemies. 15% continuous heals is equivalent to 30% of a champion's hit points every turn. This is great for helping with survival. Next, Rhodos. Rhodos is another amazing champion. He's absolutely overpowered and god broken, especially with the relentless set on him where the extra turns start stacking up. I've seen people literally solo stage 20 dungeons just with Rhodos. It's insane. But anyway, due to my composition in Arena, as you can see, I currently have an immunity set on him. Don't ask. Not getting into my arena composition today. Let's just say that I don't have any viable anti-debuff champion for Platinum, and as such, I make up for it with immunity sets on a couple champions. My platinum compositions is still a work in progress, but regardless, Rhodos is absolutely amazing. When you use him manually, if you time things right, he keeps popping up his hit points with his A2, which makes him hit harder and harder as time goes on and harder to kill. He gets extra turns when you use his A3 to take out the enemies, and his A1 can put up defense down, which is also real useful. And his A1 also has that 30% chance to get an extra turn. So he's just crazy overpowered. If you have him, an absolute must in just about any encounter short of Spider and speed farming. Last here, Gorgorab. Yeah, Gorgorab is not particularly amazing for endgame, but I use him because of one thing that's vital in Faction Wars and some of the dungeons as well. It's the ability for him to resurrect your champions if they go down. That's why Gorgorab is here. He's to get my attack-based champions back up when they go down. Nethril and Rhodos can be hard to keep alive since they are attack-based. With attack-based champions like them, the best way to help their survival is to use defense or hit point-based rings and banners. So, like, for example, you know, defense is preferable for most dungeons and pretty much everything except for Arena, really. For Arena, both defense and hit points can be viable depending on your composition. Regardless, though, typically you want defense on those that have the raw defense stats, like the rings and the banners. Why? Attack-based champions usually have defense that is pretty low. So you see he's only 991 here. You see, like, even Gorgorab, who's an epic, he has 1068. You look at some other champion, his is really low because he's hit point based. But you look at her, I mean, she's a support champion, she has 1400. So you can see his is pretty low. So if you go with a defense based chest, it's not going to scale that well. So it just makes more sense to give them raw defense on a ring, raw defense on an amulet. You can see these ones here. They give me quite a bit of extra defense, you know, over 500, almost towards 600. So he's got a decent amount of defense on him. And so, but yet I still have a modest amount of, you know, I have the 100% crit rate, modest amount of crit damage on him, decent amount of speed because I originally used to use him for Arena. So he has some solid accuracy too for Faction Wars. Typically you want at least 200, really more so 220 and up to be safe. Overall, Nethril is pretty formidable in just about any encounter, but in stage 1 he can still go down pretty fast if the enemies get multiple turns. So that's where my Gorgorab here comes into play. He's got that resurrection here where he can bring everybody back up and heals them. So he keeps my champions up when they get taken down. So my composition has some heavy damage dealers, some powerful crowd control with turn meter reducers, slows, true fears, powerful healing with Bad Alcazar, resurrection with Gorgorab. Overall, pretty well-rounded group that covers all the big necessities for endgame content. I don't think the shield that I have here is the best option for him, but it's something that I was just kind of testing out. I could probably improve this group by putting something else other than a shield on him, but he rarely ever gets targeted himself, so I figured, what the heck, might as well put some shield sets on him to help him out with keeping everybody else alive. But anyway, I'm going to go ahead and show you this group in action here. So far I did the first encounter manually because I wasn't sure if I'd even be able to handle it. Ooh, I got a void shard, awesome. Alright, so yeah, so first I did it manually because I wasn't sure if I would be able to handle it. Once I did it manually, I tried another one on auto, and it actually cleared it on auto. So since I have one run left here, I wanted to do this one on a video to show you guys how this works. And to play it safe, I want to show you how to optimize each champion's abilities as well. I'm going to do this one manually. Note that, you know, these guys have been able to do this on auto as well, at least the one time that I did let them try it. So let's go ahead and see this in action here. Oh, turn off the auto. Okay, well that's fine. All right, so initially I do want him to put those poisons out there. I want to get those poisons out as soon as possible. Don't really need the continuous heals yet, but ideally on this first run I'm not going to need them. Now with Nethril, I want to use his A3 first because I want to decrease those turn meters when they're fairly high. Now I could probably slow Nethril down a little bit to make him more valuable here, increase his damage by getting rid of some speed but giving him some more damage, like, you know, say crit damage. But for now, he's working well. All right, so with the Jack here, absolutely want to do this A3. I want to get that true fear out there on everybody, lock up the enemies, plus it knocks down their turn meters some more. With Gorgorab here, gonna boost up everybody's turn meters, get the increased attack. With Rotos here, this A3 is not going to be enough to kill any of these enemies right now yet. It's just not powerful enough on a stage 21. So what I'm going to do instead is I'm going to do his A2 because I want to increase his hit points. You're going to see when he attacks with this A2, his hit points are going to go up. He's going to get more bars here because it is going to increase his hit points. The most it can get is the 60,000, but I want to get up to that extra 60,000 as quick as possible. So I'm going to use his A2 first. Do it on one of these martyrs here because I do not want them doing those counterattacks. Next, Bad Alcazar, only option I have is the A1. Like I said, it hits like a joke. It doesn't hit hard at all. Next, Nethril, I want to do those stuns. Lock up the enemy some more. So now we got True Fears out there. We got stuns. We've knocked down turn meters. There's only 2 of them left that aren't stunned yet. Now, fortunately, because of how much I've knocked down the turn meters, there's still the True Fears out there, which means with this one here, since there's fears on the enemies, I'm going to get a block buffs debuff on all of them now as well. So they can't even get buffs now. So as far as Martyr, I'm not worried about her doing the counterattack buff. They can't do it. So I want to take out one of the Martyrs as quickly as possible, though. So I'm going to keep targeting this one to burn this one down first. Going to get some more poisons up on her because that's obviously not going to be enough to take her out. Now, I'm going to use his A3. His A3 should be able to take her out. Now, I think her hit points are low enough to where I can take her out. Yes. All right, she just went down. My A2 is back up. A1 isn't yet. I could do the chance of trying to give him an extra turn with the A1 where it is a 30% chance to get an extra turn, but I want to increase his hit points as much as possible. You look at where his bars are now. His bars are higher. He has more base hit points than he used to. They're already going up. You can't see it in here. I wasn't sure if you could, but anyway. I want to up his hit points some more now. Look at his bars. They're going to go up. Look at how much. They went up even more. All right. I want to get... I really don't have much anything to do. I want to get her down as quick as possible. She already has a fear on her, but just hit him a few times of that. Let's get some more poisons out there. So again, pop up the poisons. Get some more poisons on... Yeah, I'm going to do it on her. Now you got to try to keep in mind your cooldowns as well, because I'm trying to keep in mind with Rotos, he's going to be able to one-shot somebody soon. So with her, I don't really need to wean her down much more. He should be able to one-shot her now. Yep, she's down. Now the downside is I guess I want to use the A2, but it may hit weak because these are all red, which means 30% chance that he's going to have a weak hit. But I'm going to give it a try anyway, because I might as well use it. It's up. It was a weak hit. It was only 6,000, but it's still a little bit. He still upped his hit points a little bit there. All right, none of them have the fears on him anymore. I want to try to take this one down as quick as I can. He's got a fear, so that's good. There's no point in me using the A3 yet because it's going to knock him down by 75%. Their turn meters are really low already, and they all have slow on them, so I will get that A3 again before they get their next turn. I can guarantee that's going to happen. And with him, I'm going to fill the turn meters again, get increased attack on everybody. It's going to do a little bit more damage to everybody. All right, so I'm going to give him a shot on this guy again. Another weak hit. But extra turn. All right, let me see if I can take him out. Might be another weak. No, there we go. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. All right, so now let's up his hit points some more. Again, weak hit. That's killing me. All right. I kind of was debating on knocking down their turn meters. I don't think I need to because I'm going to be able to knock down their hit points enough where those poisons are probably going to take them out before they get a next turn. So I want to use a lot of my A1s here. Just keep my allies like going as long as possible against these guys to get all my cooldowns up. So see, I have one turn left on this, so I don't necessarily want to kill them yet. I want to try to get as many turns as possible to get my cooldowns on my allies down for this next group. So see, now I have my A2 again here. I want to get those poisons up. This time I get the True Fear out there. ASAP. Knock down the turn meters a little bit. Now he's going to knock the turn meters way down here. So this is going to be beautiful. Look at that. Look at that. That just bumped those turn meters down. Huge. Buy me a lot more time. I want to get these Valkyries down as soon as possible. Again, he's not going to be powerful enough to take her out yet. So I'm going to do his A2 first here. Up his hit points some more. So he's going to be doing more damage in the long run. Get some stuns out there. All the slows are already out thanks to Harvest Jack. Those slows are so valuable, especially on these enemies when you're slowing him down like that, it's buying me so much time. And that's I really want to buy time with Harvest Jack, because when he has that fear out there already, and then he has a chance to do the A2 before they get a turn, it puts out that block buffs debuff, which is especially great against these Valkyries. That means I get these block buffs up, so if they do their counterattacks and the shields, the allies are not going to get shields, they're not going to get counterattack, because I just blocked all the buffs for a couple of turns. With some of them, it's for 3 turns because of increasing the duration. All right, so we want to use his A2. Notice with Gorgrab yet, he hasn't been that valuable. He's just kind of in the background making sure all of my heavy hitters and healers stay alive. That's the thing that Gorgrab is there for, is to keep everybody alive. So far, it hasn't been an issue on the boss. It's going to be, though. All right, so it's hard to see where her hit points are. I think Valkyrie here is okay. I think she's going to either go down, or if not, I'll take her out with Roto. So I'm going to move on to the next Valkyrie here. Yeah, I'm just going to take her out with Rotos. Yeah, there we go. Beautiful. And then knock this one down and get some more hit points. I don't know how much more hit points he can get, but I figure I might as well keep going. I'm going to put some more poisons on her, because I don't know if those ones are going to be enough to take her out. Now, those are definitely enough poisons to take her out. But you see, too, where, like I said, with this composition, there's tons of poisons out there. So every single time my champions hit, thanks to Bad Alcazar, they're doing an extra 15% damage every single hit because they got poisons on them. Now, this is a good timing for the A3, because you look at a lot of these allies, they have their turn meters up pretty high. He's going to bump them down 75%. Ooh, she resisted it. That is not good. But I'm going to use this again. I'm probably going to stop using his A2 soon, because I don't know how much more hit points he can get. He may have already capped even. I'm not sure. All right, she just went down. I'm not worried about this Valkyrie, because, again, keep in mind your poisons. These poisons are absolutely going to kill her. Not worried about her at all. These guys are probably not going to go down from poisons yet. I'm not worried about stuns, because I got slows on them. I'm going to start using my A1s, just because at this point, Nethral's going to get... Yeah, this guy will probably go down. He may not, though, so just in case, I'm going to keep after him. It's a tough call, actually. I think he's going to go down. I don't want to use my extra... I don't want to use the A3 to take one of these guys out. I don't feel like I need to. I feel like they're definitely going to go down. Look at it, got an extra turn anyway. Beautiful. Now his A2 and A3 is ready for the boss. Everybody's going to be going down now. Like, I'm just going to keep using A1s, because, again, I only want to use A1s right now on manual. This is why manual is so much better, because if I was on auto, they would be using their A3s and their A2s. I don't want to. I want to save his A2 for the boss. So these guys are going down. That's it. There's just keep my A2s and A3s for the boss now. So here we go. Beautiful. First thing, get those poisons out there. Get the continuous heals out. Ooh, this is not good. I can't. Now, it's hard at this point. The boss, this one, you have to look at what abilities each of these bosses have. This boss, this is going to remove all the debuffs from him, place a true fear on a random enemy, and stuns on everybody. So this is going to be bad. I don't want to use this one yet, because this one can do the decreased speed on the boss. I don't want him to lose that. I would rather just lose some poisons on him. So I'm going to do the A1 first. It did knock his turn meter down a little bit, which is nice. The problem with Harvest Jacks, like I said, Harvest Jack is great on the trash. On this boss, this A2 and A3 isn't going to do anything. You can't do True Fear on a boss. You can't do fears on them. You can't do the block buffs, I don't believe. Even if you could on him, it's not going to matter. It's not going to do me any good. With him, it's hard to say what I want to do. I mean, I might as well do this. Try to buy myself a little more time. I'm going to use this A3 ASAP on the boss, because it's going to take a while for him to go down, but I want to hit him as hard as I possibly can right now, take him out as soon as possible. Look at that, 106,000, almost 107,000. That's beautiful. Nice. And Rotos resisted. He didn't get stunned. That's great. All right. So now, with Gorgrab, I hope he doesn't plan on trying to take out my Gorgrab first. That is not good. Looks like oh, good. No, he's not going to go after him. All right. Now he is way down there. What I want to do, though, what's more important than me getting the poisons out there, is I want to slow him down right now, do the decreased speed. It's at the 30% decreased speed. Now look, his turn meter is going to go a lot slower now. On this boss, my hit points are most likely already maxed out. Yes, I could hit harder with this, but what's more valuable at this point is my A1, since it does have a 30% chance to get an extra turn, plus that decreased defense. I want to try to get decreased defense on the boss. He resisted it. Harvest Jack, I'm always going to be using the A1 because that's what's going to hit the hardest. His A2 and A3 brings nothing to the table. The boss's turn meter is pretty high now, so now I want to knock it down with Nethril. Hopefully he won't resist this. Beautiful, that's what I want to see. Again, Gore Grab isn't coming in particularly useful. Let's get some more poisons up on the boss. Got 2 more turns before he can remove those poisons. So I want to get some poisons up on him. Here's some more poisons, hopefully. Just 1 poison, but better than nothing. Ooh, he just hit him real hard. That is not good. But see, this is where the continuous heals are beautiful from Bad Alcazar. Because look, he's only going to heal him a tiny bit here, but then look at that. That was 30% heals. Look at where his hit points went. Now my A3 is up again. I absolutely want to use that A3. Whew, 134,000. That is beautiful. Absolutely beautiful what he just pulled off there. Again, Harvest Jack. Nothing else that he can really do except for that. The A1 is going to be the one that hits the hardest. We got some stuns here, so that's not good. He's going to hit him again. Ooh, that hit Harvest Jack pretty hard. Harvest Jack is fighting back, though. I love it. All right, so hopefully he'll... Oof. All right, now see, this is where Gorgorab's going to come in useful. All right, now he lost his decreased speed. I absolutely want to get that up there ASAP again. Now here's where Gorgorab comes in useful. Going to bring back Harvest Jack there. And then now Bad Alcazar works in conjunction with him with those heals. Use the A1 again here. Don't take him out. Oh, that is not good. But at least he took down my Harvest Jack instead of taking down somebody else. Out of all my champions right now, Harvest Jack is really the most useless. There's just because that A2 and A3 on Harvest Jack is great for the trash, but like I said, on the boss, you can't use them. Knock down the turn meter again. Beautiful. And I want to keep using the Rhodos's A1. The boss seems to be resisting him a lot. He doesn't have enough accuracy to apply the defense down on the boss, but that's okay because there's still that 30% chance of him getting an extra turn. And again, want to get those continuous heals out there, so the boss is going to get a turn soon. Didn't even need it. Just went down. Beautiful. But yeah, we'll see with Harvest Jack, he is invaluable on the trash on the way to the boss. Once you get to the boss, he isn't that great anymore. But where he really shines is on the way to the boss with those true fears, the block buffs. I mean, imagine if one of those Valkyries or Martyr got a turn and they did their, the defense or the shields and the counterattacks. Those get really hard. You get counterattacks up on the enemies every time you attack them. You're dreading it, especially with AoEs like with Nethril or Bad Alcazar, where he does the AoE that doesn't even hit that hard, and then every single enemy is coming at Bad Alcazar with an attack afterwards. You do not want that happening. But you see with my champions here, with how much they knock down turn meters, the slows, turn meter reductions, they buy me so much time that a lot of times the enemies didn't even get a turn. Like, if I remember right, actually, I think on the trash never even got a turn to attack me. It wasn't until the boss to where I started getting hit. And then look at this. I got a friggin' 5-star here. This is beautiful. So anyway, but yeah, the takeaway from this is to make sure that you have some champions that can hit really hard. I mean, you look at my Nethril was my biggest hitter here. My Rhodos, actually, no, I'm sorry. My Rhodos was the hardest hitting. Rhodos is just amazing. Nethril was second, but Bad Alcazar actually did quite a bit too. And it's because of those poisons. That's the thing, is those poisons actually do a lot of damage, and his poisons stack up. The A1 doesn't hit that hard, but those poisons do great. And the A1 isn't horrible. I mean, it does like, what, 2,000-3,000 damage, I think, on average, something like that. Gorgorab was kind of a joke. In this encounter here in particular, he really wasn't that great. I probably could have actually replaced him with somebody else and made it been more useful, because the only champion I lost was Harvest Jack. But again, when Harvest Jack went down, I was able to resurrect him with Gorgorab. If I didn't resurrect Harvest Jack, the boss may have taken out another one, like, say, Rhodos next, and it would have slowed down my damage. I may have gone down. So Gorgorab wasn't particularly useful in this encounter, but I think overall he's definitely worth keeping in here, just because then when the boss starts taking out enemies, between Bad Alcazar healing them and keeping my champions alive, and Gorgorab being able to resurrect them every, X amount of turns, it's solid. This is a really solid group here. So, but I highly, highly recommend having someone on your team that can resurrect dead champions. The only way to try to compensate for that is to have a lot of defense and hit point based champions. But look at how fast, like Harvest Jack, he's a hit point based champion. And look at all the hit points that I have on him. I have a lot of hit points on him. I could build him to make him better. He doesn't need so much accuracy. This is where when I had him in a resistance composition for Arena. I could lower his accuracy some, give him some more crit damage, or maybe even some more hit points. But look at his hit points. He has like almost 50, yeah, over 57,000 hit points, going upwards of 60,000, yet the boss two-shot him. That was it. So, I mean, that boss is brutal. He takes your allies down quick. So that's why I highly recommend having a resurrection champ, because if I didn't have Bad Alcazar with all the healing, people would have been going down quicker and Gorgrab would have been a lot more useful. The reason that Gorgrab isn't as useful in my composition is thanks to Bad Alcazar with that continuous heals that he puts out there. So anyway, with Bad Alcazar, though, one thing that would be useful if you're not using him on the boss is quite a bit of resistance, because if you got a lot of resistance on Bad Alcazar, when that boss goes to stun all your allies, if he resisted the stun, he uses that A2, you can remove all the stuns on all your allies, come right back at the boss without a stun. So that's something to keep in mind as well, that if you're really building Bad Alcazar to be, you know, maximized for the boss, and on Faction Wars in Stage 21, lots of resistance. I have mine built for the clan boss because he's great on clan boss as well, and especially that stun removal and the poisons and all. My Bad Alcazar is great on the boss, but he's also great in Faction Wars still, regardless, even with a build for the boss. Now, I used to use Seducer and Temptress for my Undead, because Seducer combined with, you know, Temptress, it's an amazing pair. I do have a prior video on the combination of Seducer and Temptress, so if you haven't seen that, check it out if you are using them. They got me to stage 20 with some of these other guys. I think with the two of them and Bad Alcazar, Nethril, I didn't have Rhodos at the time. I had Harvest Jack, so it was a pretty solid composition. The problem is that Temptress just doesn't bring anything that great herself. She's pretty weak. I'll show you her here real quick while I'm covering some other stuff. But the combination does work great. It's just that I have some seriously overpowered champions. I even have some other ones that could be viable. I mean, I have this guy here, this one here. I'm not even using them, or him. I'm not using any of the three of those. It's a shame. I have 3 legendaries in Undead that I'm not using at all whatsoever. But I don't need them at this point. It's a shame, but I just don't. I don't have anything to use them for. That's what happens in endgame content, but that's for another time. So anyway, but touching on what I was saying about with the Seducer is amazing. Temptress, though, all she's got this increased attack, increased crit rate on herself, extra turn when Seducer's on the team. This here, 4 times at random, has a chance to do a Leech. Now that Leech has increased to 18% of the target's hit points, Leech is a little more valuable, but it's still not amazing. Her A1 has a chance to steal a random buff at maximum skills, 40% chance to steal a random buff. As you could see on this run, there's no buffs to steal on the enemies. They don't even put any buffs up. So overall, she doesn't do anything that great. She's a little easy on the eyes here. She forgot some of her clothing, but that's okay. But anyway, overall, she's not anything that spectacular. Seducer, completely different story. But again, I already made a video on that. If you want to find out more about them, you're using them, go to that other video. But otherwise, you've seen these guys in action. You see on these guys work. Harvest Jack and Nethril are definitely my 2 just amazing ones. I mean, Rhodos is a given. I figured that goes without saying. But I mean, really, in all honesty, my most valuable here is Rhodos. I'd say my second most valuable is probably Nethril because of knocking down those turn meters and the slows. Third would definitely be Harvest Jack. But Bad Alcazar is amazing for keeping your champions alive. It's just, fortunately, with my composition, I knock down turn meters so much and slow the enemies so much that healing isn't usually that big of an issue. So with this composition, Bad Alcazar isn't quite as valuable. But again, you know, when I resurrected my Harvest Jack, if he didn't get shot right back down again, those heals would have brought him right back up. And you saw with Rhodos how quick it healed him when he took a hit. It bumped his hit points right back up real fast. So you saw this in action. You saw how powerful they are. Again, I did this run on auto once. They handled it no problem. I could probably run it on auto from here on out. I don't know what my percentage of win rates will be, but I'm thinking they're probably going to be pretty high because that was Real easy right there, as you could see. If you have any questions, comments, stupid statements, feel free to leave them in the comments below. But otherwise, hopefully this video gives you some insight on some things you might want to incorporate into your own compositions. But that's all that I have for today. So until the next episode, guys, good luck in your faction wars. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. And otherwise, I will catch you guys in the next episode. So until then, take care.